So now let's move on to 15. So the first step here, all right, here, let's read it together. If blah 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 equals blah 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 for all values of x and a equals a plus b equals 8, what are the two possible values for c? So the first step that I would do given this problem is I'd expand this. So we'll get a times b x squared plus 7ax plus 2bx plus 14. And we know that that's equal to this. So what am I going to do? I'm going to get it in a similar form to this so that we could make some more equations here. So we could factor out x over here, and we can make it 7a plus 2b in parentheses times x, because these two are equal, and then we could bring down everything else, plus 14 and then abx squared. Do you understand what I did here? Okay, that's a major step here. If without that step, it would be very hard to solve this problem. And now we have the rest of this equation. I'm going to write it out here because it's very important to see what I do next. Plus cx plus 14. So now, if you notice, we have x squared here, we have x here, and then 14 and 14. So now that we have it in the same form on both sides, we can make more equations here. So we're going to go ahead and say AB is equal to 15 because they're in the same position. And then we're going to go ahead and say 7a plus 2b is equal to c because they're in the same position. Alright, so now that we've gotten this far, we're going to look back at the problem and we'll see a plus b is equal to 8. So we're going to write down that equation 2. Alright, so the next step, at least for me, because I found this a little bit easier to see, thinking about it this way, what two numbers add up to 8 and when they're multiplied equal 15? 3 and 5, perfect. Now, there's 3 and 5. We'll go ahead and say that. It's very important to also notice that a could equal 3 and b could equal 5, or you could flip it around and you could say a is equal to 5 and b is equal to 3. So we're going to make two scenarios. This is the first scenario, and we'll say a is equal to 3 and then b is equal to 5. And then we have our equation to the side because our goal here is to find the possible values for c. So we have 7a plus 2b is equal to c, which is, we'll plug in now. We'll substitute 3 for a, 5 for b, 7 times 3 plus 2 times 5, and now we do simple math here. Then we get 31. C equals to 31 for the first scenario. But now we have to go back and we have to do the second scenario as well that I explained before. So we'll label it second scenario. Obviously, when you're actually doing the SAT, you don't need to label anything. You just got to go for time and efficiency. So A equals 5, B equals 3. And then I'm just going to go ahead and substitute it because we know what we're doing here. Plus 2, substitute B with 3 equals C. 7 times 5 is 35. Plus 6 equals C. 41 equals C. Alright, so now we have our two possible values for C, which is 31 and 41. We go back to the answer key, and D is the answer. Do you understand what we did there? Okay, it was the very important part that you see. There's two very important parts. Is factoring out x over here, very important, and then the other very important part is understanding the positions here. Because once you get the positions and you factored out, you could set up these equations, and then from here on out, it's just simple algebra. Alright, you got that?